Hi guys, my name is Chad Trofgruben, and you are watching Chad Chat. Well, if you're a regular viewer to this wonderful program of mine, you can see that I have officially moved into my new place. This is a brand new office. So, I have set up all my equipment, everything is good to go, and I can now commence the wonderful Chad Chat episodes that all of you crave. I'm sure you do. Anyway, today's episode will focus in on the Steve and the Alien Anime Studio Tutorial Series contest. I've received some questions regarding the contest, and there's just a little bit of confusion out there as to some of the rules and what to do and all that stuff. So sit back, because that is today's topic of Chad Chat. First, let's discuss the deadline for this project. It is August 5th, 2012. That is when I need all of the entries by to be considered for the contest. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't continue on after this deadline and create your own work from the template I have provided. But if you are wanting to be considered for the contest, it must be August 5th, 2012. And you can only submit one entry per YouTube account. And make sure, please, that all of your work is original. Don't go ripping off someone else's artwork or music or sound effects. And so far from what I've seen, that hasn't been an issue at all. But it's just something I need to throw out there just because it's the right thing to do, not to mention it's illegal. So please make sure that all of your work is original and you adhere to the August 5th deadline if you want to enter into the contest. Now next is the question of prizes. In the announcement video, I said that you would win a copy of Anime Studio Pro 8, Poser 9, and Manga Studio EX4. And these prizes will all go to one winner. So if you win, you'll get all of that software. Now, I have been toying with the idea of maybe having a runner-up prize, but that depends on how many entries I get and, of course, the strength of the animations and the originality behind the endings and so on. So that is what you can expect if you are to win the grand prize. Now let's talk about purchasing the tutorials. I've actually received a few questions in regards to this because some people's connections out there for the internet are not all that strong and they have a hard time streaming the videos from YouTube to their computer, which makes viewing the lessons difficult. Well, I have good news on this front. I'm in the process of printing out some discs that will include the tutorial videos plus the project files that I use in the series, and they will be made available for purchase. I don't have a price yet, nor do I have a quantity in mind that I'm initially printing out. It will be lower because the demand isn't all that high yet. So if you are interested in this, I recommend you stay tuned on my website because I will be posting more information on how you can order these discs in the near future. Now moving on to the content of the animation itself. I've received the question a lot, do you have to make the entire animation that I have shown in the tutorial series, or can you just make an ending for it? I would like you to create the entire animation, and that's how it will be considered for an entry. And then, of course, make your own ending for it. The reason for this is because I think it will give you, especially if you are a beginner to Anime Studio and animation, it'll give you a template to start with. You'll get the tools you need while working on the animation I have shown, and then you can create your ending based on those tools. Not to mention, it's actually fun to see the variations that people put in between with the content that I have originally created. Already with the 2 entries we've received so far, there already are variations. I think someone added a slow motion effect when the alien falls out of the van, for instance, and it was humorous. People add their own twists to these things. Which brings me to the next question that people ask, can you add variation? Absolutely. I encourage you to add variation to the existing animation that I have created. Because again, that will allow you to be creative with it. It'll allow you to get ideas for the ending. And most of all, it'll allow your work to stand out. It'll allow you to break away from the pack, from my original work, and create something that is unique for you. And in that same regard, you can absolutely, this is another question I get, you can absolutely add a little in between things, between the scenes. If you want to add more with the alien shooting, if you want to add more with Steve driving, you can do a number of those things. As far as character design, you can change it up as much as you want. You can rename the characters if you want to. I just named it Steve and the Alien. You can do whatever you want in that regard. So that hopefully will answer the questions in regards to content. By all means, be creative, use your own twists, add things that if you think you want to add them, and do the whole thing and make your ending, and then submit it as a video response to the announcement video I made for the contest. And it will be entered in for consideration. And the final question I would like to address has to deal with the skill level of the artist who is contributing to the contest. There is no bar set for how good or how inexperienced you are to animation to enter this contest. I've seen that question. I think there's someone who is wanting to enter the contest who has been working with Anime Studio for about 3 years. Meanwhile, I think I read a comment somewhere stating, someone stated that they've only had it for 2 months, but they're not sure if they could enter because they're not sure if there is a qualification bar for this contest. Anyone can enter. And the reason for this is because no one can tell you, or no one can really set a bar for quality. Someone who's worked with Anime Studio for a month may, have a better handle on it than someone who's worked on it for a year, or vice versa. It really doesn't matter. The point is, I want you to submit it no matter what your skill level. I want you to go through the series if you are new to it. If you're experienced in this animation whole process and you don't need the tutorial series, well, that's fine. You can kind of use what my animation did, look at it, recreate what you want to recreate, and make an ending, and that's fine too. I've also gotten questions too if you need to use Anime Studio Pro 8 for this. And the answer to that is it will be easier if you're newer to the animation process, because that is what I teach in the tutorial series. However, if you have the debut version of Anime Studio, you can still get by and you can still do the majority of what I show in the series. There will be some differences like the patch layer. You won't have access to that. And there might be a couple of 3D effects and camera pan situations that might differ when you're working on it. But for the most part, you should be able to get through most of what I teach. If you're using Flash, and if you think that you can emulate what I have taught in Flash and create an ending for it, by all means go for it. Same thing goes for Toon Boom. If you have any type of software and you want to recreate it, by all means go for it, because I think that shows creativity on your end and ambition, and I think your product will be better for it in the long run if you are able to put it all together and submit it. So please, there is really no restriction to this, so please submit your work regardless of your age, your skill level, or the software that you are currently using. Anyway, I believe that wraps up the majority of the questions I have seen on the series. If you have more questions about the series, or if you have a question for me in general about animation, which I promise I'll get back to, I plan to resume the regular episodes soon here, answering your guys' questions on animation and all that. You can go to chatchat.incredibletutorials.com and you can look at my posts there and you can leave a question if you wish. Or you can go to, of course, my YouTube channel, which is Lil Redhead Comics, and you can post questions or comments on any of my videos there. I try to read as much as I can, even though I get slammed with a lot of messages, but I will try to get to your questions. Also, you can find me on Twitter. I have a Facebook page for my Incredible Tutorials website, and Google+, and Pinterest. So I'm everywhere at once, and I'm taking over the internet very slowly with my poofy red hair and awesomeness. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Keep those submissions coming. I'm looking forward to viewing them, and I'll see you next time.